Now in today's video, we're going to be running through my team selection ahead of match day 1 in Club World Cup Fantasy, and we're also going to be talking about my chip strategy throughout the tournament. Now before we dive into today's video, of course if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and it is massively appreciated by myself. As you can see on screen right now is the code to join my mini league. We've actually got one of the biggest mini leagues within the game, so if you want to get yourself involved with that one, we're going to give away a prize for the winner as well. I'm yet to decide what that prize is, but of course the place where I will be announcing that prize will be on my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days. Of course there is going to be daily Club World Cup posts as well on there. Both the links to the auto join league and of course to my X are in the description as well if you want to go and check that out afterwards as well. So let's start off then first talking about my chip strategy. Now I've gone through this in a lot of my drafts, and pretty much the first draft I ever did, I had a rough idea of where I wanted to play my chips, and especially within these kind of short fantasy format kind of tournament games, you need to just get out early and get your chips active very, very quickly. That is the play. That's what I did for the Euros in 2024 last year. It worked absolutely wonders for me. I did it in Champions League this year. Didn't quite have the same effect, but we still picked up some pretty decent points early doors as well and got ourselves in a really, really decent position in terms of rank. And there wasn't too much movement post kind of, the knockout stages. And I think that's where some people, they might be looking to save it for those knockout stages. But you get to a point within these tournaments where everybody's team, especially as you get to kind of the quarters, the semis, and even the final, everybody's team really starts to look very, very similar. So there's not too much upside in saving the chips anyway. We've got a mystery chip coming, of course, in the knockout stages as well. And I think that's just worth having, just playing that on its own. I think for me personally, I'm going to play the 12-man in match day 1. I think, I've seen some people are playing the max captain chip. I fully understand that as well. There's some really, really good fixtures, the projected goal numbers as well. There could be very big upside games within that. But I want to get the 12-man. I've seen the buy-in odds for this Auckland game. It's actually gone down a little bit. It's at 160 to 1 for Auckland to win that game. I want to try and get as many buy-in assets within my side as well. And it does, of course, mean sacrificing some other positions. And I can't quite afford either one of Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland. So they're going to be my 12th man heading into this game week, because I still believe they've both got massive potential, as we'll come on to see with the 11-5 data a little bit later, to do exceptionally well in match day 1. So I want to have them all covered off and of course attack this Auckland City fixture, as by a country mile they are the worst team within this tournament, so we need to be looking to target them. In match day 2, I'm going to play the max captain. Looking at my team, there's some big players that could really do exceptionally well, quite a few that play on the same day as well. The 20th of June has some absolutely tremendous fixtures to be looking to target. There's 3 teams with pretty much great matchups, and I want to get the best out of all of it. So I think the best way to do it is have the max captain chip ready, play it in that week, and of course look to, just reap the rewards from that. I don't mind the match day 1 tactic either, but personally for my team, it would feel like I'm just kind of missing out on one of Mbappe or Haaland, and I would rather have one of those two than the max captain chip. I think Harry Kane is going to be a very, very popular captain for match day 1, and if he does deliver, is there any point kind of moving it around or changing it? Not really. And do I see too many other players doing better than that? Again, probably not. So I think purely down to the fact that I think because Kane is going to do so well in match day 1, I don't think there's any point in using the match captain chip as well on that week. I've seen some people potentially suggest saving it for the semi-finals and the final, where obviously, it's a lot harder to pick which player is going to do well. Fair enough, I get that. But the reason I would suggest that you play it in the group stage is there's more upside in a lot of these fixtures. There's going to be some absolutely mega scorelines, especially involving Auckland and Casablanca. You feel like these are 2 teams that definitely could be on the wrong end of a few thumpings across this tournament. And there's going to be some players that benefit highly from that. And if you've got them in your team and, you've got this max captain chip active for those weeks, you could be reaping the rewards much better than what you could probably expect in a semi-final or a final, where you imagine you're probably going to be up against a top team. Maybe you get 1 or 2 goals, but still the swing's probably going to be a lot better for those group stage games. In match day 3, I am of course going to be playing my wildcard. I'm pretty much going to use it as a free hit. I did this in the Euros, saved it for the final group game as well there, and it worked out absolute wonders. So I'm going to do that again. I do think a lot of the bigger teams, if they're already through after match day 1 and match day 2, they're going to be looking to rotate. Obviously, a lot of the players had long, hard seasons. Obviously, quite a lot have been out on international duty as well with the Nations League and obviously World Cup qualifiers. So they might be looking to just kind of, rotate, rest players. There's a lot of the top teams as well that we're looking to target in match day 1 and match day 2. Juve, City, Bayern, they're all playing against each other on that final match day as well. So I think it could be a nice scope to, of course, look for some differentials who are under 5% as well and can potentially get us that table bonus. So that is my chip strategy. Of course, I understand people have got all different ones for this game and that's why I like it. But this is my one and I think it's quite a popular consensus one as well. So I probably would recommend going for this if you're a little bit unsure, I would say. But of course, we're open to everybody's interpretations on this channel. Let's move on then. Let's take a look at the 11-a-fi data. Of course, if you want to go and check this out for yourself, I will leave a link in the description. These guys put on some absolutely amazing stuff throughout the Premier League season as well. So when that kicks off, really, definitely highly recommend going and checking their channel out as well. Like I said, link in the description for that one. They have given a disclaimer heading into the Club World Cup. It hasn't got their kind of normal due diligence or kind of run through, but a lot of the kind of numbers that I've seen here match a lot of the ones that I've seen from the betting markets as well, from SpreadX's numbers in terms of the projected goals and projected clean sheets. So I don't think they're too dissimilar. So I'm happy to use this tool and still think it's a great asset for kind of obviously the group stages as well, for you to be planning with your first draft and maybe your wild cards in 2 and 3 as well. Bayern Munich, they have some of the best fixtures, the best fixture in match day 1, should I say. 4.78, I've actually seen it closer to 5 on the betting markets. Like I said, 161 for Auckland to win that game. I'm going to be looking to go for Bayern triple attack. I think some people are probably going to be looking at Bayern quad attack as well. A lot of people are going to be, full on steam into this Bayern Munich team as well. So 4.78, definitely worth obviously loading up on their assets, especially if you're going to play your wild card in match day 2 as well. City's fixtures are decent in 1 and 2 as well. So I think their midfield picks really hard to call. I probably would avoid Gvardiol now that Ryan Aït-Nouri has signed for the club as well. So the standout pick is going to be Erling Haaland, and he is a talisman. He takes penalties, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's where my head would be at with that one. Real Madrid as well, their standout fixtures are in 1 and 3, but across the board still some pretty decent numbers in terms of projected goals. So Kylian Mbappe definitely going to be a popular asset and for very good reasons. Chelsea's are a little bit different, 1 and 3 for them, but you imagine by the time they get to 3 they could have already qualified out of this group, so there might be some rotation players that could be worth a look there. But Cole Palmer as a talisman again could be a really good pickup in match day 1. PSG, if you are obviously planning a match day 2 wildcard, you're actually not going to be looking at having any PSG players within your side. I currently don't have any PSG players within my side either. I think there's only one actually, that's a lie. But we will be looking to, of course, apologies, my computer decided it was going to have a little bit of a malfunction and not actually record any of that section there. It kind of just cut out the audio, so I do apologise about that. But all I was saying there is I would be looking to, of course, load up on the PSG assets from match day 2 onwards. Benfica have got a really delicious fixture in match day 2, so of course Pavlidis going to be a really strong shout for them. Atletico Madrid as well, probably from match day 2, also worth kind of taking a look at them. Flamengo, Juventus, they could also be interesting teams to, of course, take a look at in the opening 2 match days as well, so with some pretty decent projected goal numbers. Let's move on then. Let's take a look at the clean sheet data heading into the first 3 match days. Bayern Munich with 82%. If you are going to take a punt on any of the Bayern defenders, definitely worth doing so in match day 1. Match day 2 as well, 51% isn't too bad in terms of a clean sheet percentage as well, so you could definitely hold on to any Bayern Munich defenders you were going to bring in your side for match day 1. City and Juve, though, for me are the personal standouts with a 65 and a 57 for match day 1 and match day 2 for City, and then Juve with 60 and 67. I actually prefer the Juventus defence to go for. You've obviously got Cambiasso, Kelly currently under 5%, De Gregor as well currently under 5%. There's a lot more interesting assets. City, because they've signed 8 Nuri now, I don't know where Gvardiol goes, and I don't know what that means for Akanji or Diaz either. I think they took like 9 defenders on this trip as well, which is a lot of defenders to be taken in a very, very short tournament, to be honest. So, yeah, there could be quite a bit of rotation within that Manchester City lineup. We don't know whether or not Edison is going to be the first choice either, so it's quite hard to predict. I would rather go for Juve, who are a little bit more shorter on numbers, and I think definitely could be the play to go for in terms of those clean sheet numbers as well for match day 1 and match day 2. Inter's numbers across the board as well are really, really fantastic. So Denzel Dumfries is going to be a very popular asset. Did exceptionally well last night as well for the Netherlands national team as well, picking up even more attacking returns. Chelsea as well, Cucurella, Colwell, currently under 5%, could be a decent look with 56% and a 63% in match day 3. Again, we're seeing Benfica's numbers really shoot up with that match day 2 fixture, and no real surprise there. In terms of the match day 1 potential teams I would be looking at, 55% for Flamengo and a 41% chance for River Plate. Pretty decent numbers for teams where you can find some certain bargains in within as well. And a lot of people have been asking me why I've been looking at potentially avoiding the Dortmund assets within my my updated draft. So I was very, very strong on them at the start, but the more and more I've seen of the data, especially the betting data as well, it is suggesting that the clean sheet numbers aren't as good, and there's definitely a lot better teams I think we can be targeting over those opening 2 match days rather than looking at Dortmund. But Svensson still could work his way into this team if he manages to stay under 5% ownership. Before we head into my draft then, let's take a look at the projected goal involvements heading into these opening 3 match days there. Now, obviously, Kane, I alluded to it with the chip strategy. He is going to be a really, really good captaincy pick for match day 1. The top 4 projected goals are no real surprise there. I imagine when the betting markets do come out as well, it is also going to suggest that Kane is going to be the best captaincy option for match day 1. But Haaland in match day 2 is really, really interesting, looking like he could be one of the best captaincy options, which does currently worry me the way that I've got my team set up with him being the 12th man. I think potentially we might have to look at switching him out for Kylian Mbappe, given those numbers there. Have Mbappe as the 12th man and actually have Erling Haaland as the starting striker within our side. Like I said, those numbers for match day 2 are looking ridiculously good, and I would like him to be at least a captaincy option heading into match day 2. As you can see, though, some other interesting lower owned assets. Guirassy, Pavlidis, obviously that big standout in match day 2 for him. Again, a player I'm going to be looking to target for match day 2 with an absolutely scrumptious fixture against Auckland City. And I think if they look really, really poor heading into that into the opening game, obviously Bayern absolutely demolished them, and Benfica up next. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Pavlidis and, of course, going to be looking at Benfica assets in general. I think Cole Palmer is a player that not a lot of people are speaking about. Obviously, a talisman for that Chelsea side. Penalties. Had a really, really good Conference League final as well. And just overall, an interesting pick that I think could do exceptionally well over the opening few weeks, to be honest. So I like the Cole Palmer pick. The other one I like as well is Kolo Muani. Some decent projected goal numbers as well in match day 1 and match day 2. If, of course, you are looking for a striker that is under 5%, he could be a really, really cool and interesting pickup. Same with Julian Alvarez in match day 2 and match day 3. He isn't under 5%. He's around 10% at the moment. But again, some of the numbers that he's been putting up this season have been phenomenal, and definitely an asset I am going to be looking at with easier fixtures once they get past PSG. Of course, like I said, if you want to go and check out any of the 11FI data for yourself, there is a link in the description. But let's head on into my final team selection for match day 1. Okay, wasting no time, let's dive into the team selection itself then. Starting off first with our goalkeeper pairing. Now, this is going to be Armani and Marcheshin, both currently priced exceptionally cheap at 4 million and 4.1 million respectively. Obviously, we saw that the actual fixture for River Plate had a 41% chance of a clean sheet from the 11FI data. The bookmakers data as well, slightly higher than that as well. At 4 million could be a great, phenomenal pickup for our goalkeeper slot. We've also got got Martian, who is currently 1.6% owned. The fixture for Boca, yeah, it's not ideal across this whole group, to be honest, but at 4.1 million, I don't really see too much kind of worth in spending extra on my goalkeepers. They don't do too much in terms of their save points. My ideal recommendation would be finding goalkeepers who are under 5% owned. If there are any more premium ones in that category with decent clean sheet opportunities, those would be the ones that I would be selecting if I've, of course, got spare budget. Let's head on then into the back line. We're going to start off with Hakimi. Now, I have been toying around the idea of potentially taking Hakimi out of this side, but he is going to remain in there. It does save me a transfer for match day 2. It's not the ideal fixture I would like for one of my defenders in match day 1 with Atletico Madrid, a team that Diego Simeone has come out and said that he would like to go and win this competition, which does scare me, but he's been an absolute beast this season. 47 games, 8 goals, 12 assists as well. And obviously match day 2 and match day 3, that is where we're going to get the succulent point out of Hakimi. Next up is going to be Mora, the 4.1 million defender that is in everybody's team I'm seeing at the moment. And for very, very good reason, to be honest. 13 goal involvements in 31 games. A pretty even group for Porto. You do imagine that they could potentially pick up some clean sheets. But to get an attacking defender at 4.1 million, a little bit of a no-brainer for me in terms of a potential enabler there. Next up is going to be Cambiasso. Now, he is currently at 5%. Bang on 5%. I filmed my final draft video the other day. He was at 4.9. He's now creeped up to 5. But the reason I'm going to keep him in here is I really, really like these opening 2 fixtures in Al Ahly and Casablanca for Juventus heading into these opening 2 games. We saw with the 11-5 data, the clean sheet numbers are looking good. The betting markets are also suggesting that as well. I'm hoping that people see him at 5% and maybe sell him off and he potentially creeps under 5, but I'm a little bit hopeful for that one. Of course, we've got Kelly there as well, playing decent minutes towards the back end of the season. He actually is under 5%, as you can see here, 2.7, so he is going to get those scouting bonus if he scores above 4 points. It also gives us that double up in terms of Juve defence as well with those clean sheet numbers, so I feel pretty confident with that one. Denzel Dumfries, again, we saw in the 11-5 numbers that is pretty consistent in terms of those numbers for Inter, keeping clean sheets in every single game. 11 goals, 5 assists. His Champions League performances alone this season have been incredible. Obviously been doing bits as well with the national team prior to this tournament as well. And a pick that I think a lot of people, have him in the side, 39.9%, but I've actually seen him in quite a few less drafts in recent weeks, but still, those opening 2 fixtures for me, obviously we'll be looking to wildcard in match day 3 anyway, but those opening 2, yeah, I don't think you can get better. Obviously, the only concern with him and any Inter player is going to be the new manager and what impact it's going to have. Is he going to remain playing this attacking win-backing system? You imagine with the players that he's got at his disposal, if he was a clever manager, he would probably just stick with very similar tactics that have done Inter well over the past few years. Anyway, let's head on then into the midfield. We're going to start off first with Elise and Musiala. So let's talk about these two and why I've selected them two for right now. I think Elise is pretty much a lock. 27 goal involvements, 0.85 expected goal involvement per 90. Absolute joke. We spoke about Auckland pretty much being level with Brackley Town in terms of the Opta rankings. So imagine Bayern against Brackley. Put that in your head. Imagine what scoreline that's probably going to come away with. I want as many Bayern attackers in here. I even think if they don't see out, a full game, they're still probably going to do quite well. And Elise, definitely going to be good value for that. Musiala, on the other hand, is coming back from an actual hamstring injury, but he's been in light training for around a month already prior to this tournament. So I do feel he should be in pretty good shape heading into it. If you haven't seen the news as well today, Leroy Sané has left the club and joined Galatasaray. So that's one less player for us to worry about. It is just now getting a reliable leak or potentially lineup that is going to have, a Musiala, a Coman, or a Gnabry, and whichever one of those is within those kind of reliable lineups or features the most across the lineups probably will be that selection. Whether or not that is Musiala, we will have to wait and see. Like I said, it could be Gnabry, it could potentially be Coman in there, and that will be one that will have to be probably decided on the deadline stream or whenever, like I said, we do get those reliable team either leaks or predicted lineups coming through to make that decision as well. Cole Palmer's going to be in here. Not the best kind of season for him from an FPL perspective, but still 24 in goal involvements. We saw on the 11FI data predicted numbers for Chelsea are looking really, really good. He, of course, is a talisman as well, and I absolutely love that. Penalty takers, everything goes through him. And, of course, with players picking up points for created chances as well, I think Cole Palmer could be one of those players that's going a little bit under the radar at the moment, and people are not really looking at him as a potential option. Diaressa is in here as well with 11 goal involvements in 8 games. Again, another talisman. The Tunis odds are forever, every single day that I check them, are going out as well. They were originally priced at around like 8.5 when I brought him in terms of decimals. Now they're up to 10, 11. It's some bookmakers as well. So again, this feels like a pretty one-sided fixture for Flamingo. Very, very attacking unit. And he again is that talisman of that side on penalties, free kicks, corners, you name it. This man is part of it. Same goes with Franco as well. It has been confirmed his move to Real Madrid, but he will join up with that squad in August rather than before the Club World Cup. So that means he's going to be playing his final few games for River Plate as well. Again, 4.3 million. If you don't know, get to know. Again, another talisman, penalties, free kicks, everything is coming through this young man. And, 8 goal involvements in 12 games. Yeah, for 4.3 million with a decent opening fixture like that, I definitely would be looking to target him as well if you haven't already selected him. Let's move on then to our forwards. Of course, we've got Samu, 30 games, 19 goals, 3 assists. A pretty good enabler at 4.2 million as well. And he did feature on the list from 11FI, and I've seen him in quite a few other predicted models as well to do quite well for a 4.2 million forward. So I'm happy to have him. Kane, like we saw, top of those projected goal involvements on the 11FI model, 38 goals, 11 assists this season. He is going to be, for me personally, the best captain heading into this opening set of fixtures. So I would definitely be looking to have him and give him the lock. And that is the reason that I've not gone for him on the 12th man either, is purely because I want to have Harry Kane as an available captaincy option. Next up is this big decision that I was umming and ahhing around. We saw Haaland with those numbers, Manchester City's projected goal numbers as well in match day 2, looking really good. So maybe we make that gamble, go Mbappe on the 12th man rather than Erling Haaland. Stick with Haaland. He's got a good fixture in match day 1 and match day 2. And like I said, could be one of those players that picks up exceptional points in match day 2, which the max captain, of course, could scoop up as well. But I don't mind either way that I go for this. I am just thinking, though, looking at those numbers, maybe we do need to potentially switch it around as well. But for now, this is the team that I am going to be lining up heading into match day 1 with. Of course, I will be live tonight when this video goes out with Bobby and Golden Goal, so make sure you go and checking that out at 7 o'clock. We'll be running through our teams, any potential changes we've made, stuff like that. And of course, I will be live for the deadline as well on Saturday evening. So any kind of last minute changes that I make will be on that stream as well for you guys to see. Before we finish up, I wanted to talk about a tweet I put out yesterday, potentially suggesting that I'm going to take a -9 in match day 2. And it did go down too well, let's say, but let me talk you through what I would be planning to do with that -9. And one of the reasons that I'm thinking about doing a -9 is it's only a -3 per hit, and all the players score more points, basic actions, and there's more chances to get points for players doing their basic jobs, shots on targets, chances created. And with these one-sided fixtures, I think you could make back that deficit of that -3 pretty easy. So this is how the team would look if I was to take that -9. I'd obviously go double PSG in midfield. We bring in Cavaschella and Doué as well. Both had really, really phenomenal seasons up against Botafogo. You imagine the betting data when that comes out is going to be looking ridiculously strong for PSG in that fixture. We've also gone for Pavlidis and Garassi, 2 players who featured on the 11FI projected goal involvement numbers as well. Their match day 2 numbers looking exceptionally good. We saw as well Benfica right up there for projected goals as well on the 11FI model heading into that match day 2 fixture. Again, currently at the time of me recording this, he is under 5% as well, so we would get scouting bonus on that with a pretty decent fixture. And it's a player that I probably wouldn't actually, captain really. Or like I said, that June 20th where there's so many good fixtures, we'd have him I think Dortmund play on the 20th, or the 21st, sorry. Dortmund play here against Sundowns as well. There's so many decent captaincy options that, of course, we could be picking. Like I said, that could be Haaland if we do decide to sit that one out. Then we've got Aldaswar as well, who I believe has 30 goal involvements this season for Al Hilal. They'll be up against Salzburg, a pretty decent fixture for them. I like the look of him at 5.6 million. Again, kind of fits that talisman profile that I like to go for with my players. So that would be the -9. I definitely think we could claw that back and do more as well with it. And then, of course, wildcard this team in match day 3 and move forward. But let me know what you think on that -9 and my transfer plans for match day 2. Of course, this game is just a little bit of fun, and I definitely think I want to take a little bit more risks in it and try and potentially, do exceptionally well. I think, we could play it boring and maybe get like a top 10k finish, but what's the point in that? No one's ever going to ask me about the rank on this game. I might as well go for it, see if I can potentially try and, maybe get in the top 100 or even win the goddamn thing. And I think the way that we have to do that is being a little bit more risk, kind of pro-risk rather than risk adverse. There's plenty of ways for these players to earn back those minuses, so I think that's going to be the play for me. Like I said, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you're liking, commenting and subscribing, but the best of luck for match day 1.